Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Gaze upon my lashes, if you will. I love this mascara. I cannot get over it. Every time I apply it, it's like, wow. They didn't sponsor me. I just think that stuff's great. Bad Girl Bang, I think it's called. And somebody said it sounds like a bad porno. It really does. It's mascara, though. So, no, this is not Groundhog Day. We are not repeating yesterday, although it's going to kind of feel like it. Where are you going today, Mary? I'm going to King, North Carolina, which I was not planning on doing originally, but I saw in the comments yesterday somebody said, you need to come to the Walmart Supercenter in King. I didn't even know y'all had a Supercenter. That's crazy. No offense. I mean, but I was always under the impression that King was like a small town, like a little, a small town. I'm gonna put my glasses on, but I wanted to show you my lashes. They're not fake. That's just the stuff. It's just the best mascara ever. So King is kind of on the way. It's kind of the same way I went yesterday. So we're going the same way that we went yesterday. God, I have had a day. I got a funny story to tell you about King, but I'll tell you that in a minute. I have an experience in King. I'll have to tell you about it. Good Lord. I got up early again this morning. I actually went to bed a little bit earlier than normal. I got to bed at midnight last night, which was early for me. I got to get some sleep. I can't keep going to bed late and getting up early. It's killing me. I'm too old for this. When I was in my 20s, it didn't bother me, but it does now. The older you get, man. All you young people, enjoy the vigor of your youth now, because I swanny, it's harder as you get older, and you won't believe how fast you get older. It's like that. It seems like just yesterday I was turning 25, and I turned 49 this year. Like, what? What happened? It's like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. Yeah, enjoy the vigor of your youth. Don't laugh. You think you don't have vigor now? Shit, wait till you're my age or older. Like, I wish I had the energy I had then. Yeah, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but it only gets worse from here. Take care of your body, eat right, and exercise, and it definitely helps, though. I have to say, since I've started working out more and eating better, I have a lot more energy than I did just a couple of years ago. I've spent the last year and a half trying to improve my health and, eat better, exercise, all the kind. I've been doing that week in, week out, and it has made a huge difference. It really does. Take care of your body. How did I get off on that? I don't know. Shit. So I got up this morning and I got my work done for my day job. And I was planning on coming up here, but right when I was getting ready to leave, my younger son's school called me, said that he had a headache and needed to go home. Fortunately, this time they didn't just go ahead and automatically diagnose him with COVID like they did last time. He gets headaches. I'm pretty sure they're migraines, I believe. And I had given him some Advil this morning, but his head still hurt. So when he gets headaches like that, the best thing he can do is, eat bland food, just eat some crackers, drink some water, chicken broth, whatever, and get some sleep, and that seems to help a lot. So I got him home, I got him settled, and he said he's actually not feeling too bad, but he didn't want to stay and risk it getting worse. So anyway, I had to go pick him up and take him home. I swear, have you been to a school in the last year? It's like going to a prison. It reminds me of, I used to be a social worker for Child Protective Services back in my early 20s. I did that for a bit after I left my job at the hospital pharmacy. And one time I had to go interview a parent in a prison, not like a jail. I'm talking about like a prison. It's very different from just your regular local lockup. No, it's not like Andy Taylor's, jail cell that Otis lets himself in and out of. No, it was a prison. I had to go interview somebody's parent. And oh, it is crazy. I had never been in a prison, but I've been in a jail. Like, I wasn't locked up, but I visited people in jail before, like friends of mine, back when I ran with a much rougher crowd than I have in a long time. Anyway, I had to go to a prison to interview a parent, and God, it's scary. I mean, they lock doors behind you. You get searched, and they take you into an area, they lock the doors behind you, they take you to another area, lock more doors. You are locked in there. It is a weird feeling. It's very weird. I did not care for it. So we had to go deep into this prison, behind multiple locked doors. And they took me to a room, and they brought the person in, and I had to interview them in this room with guards in there watching us the whole time. And I don't even remember what they were in there for. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But their child was involved in an investigation. There was something with their kid, and I had to go talk to the parent. So anyway, yeah, it was weird. Going to a school now, it gives me the same feeling. You have to go in, and they lock doors behind you. They have to buzz you in. Oh, you can't wait in here. You have to wait in this other dry lock over here. We could send you to the vapor lock. You can't wait in here. Scan your ID, scan your driver's license, verify that you have a mask on, and it's weird. It is like a damn prison in there. And now the kids all have these ID cards. They have to scan them to get on the bus in the morning. They have to scan them when they get on the bus in the afternoon. They have to scan them when they go to different parts of the school. It is like a freaking prison. I hear you. Safety, safety, safety. I don't know. To me, it's just, I don't get it. I mean, safety, safety, safety. I hear you. But there's this freight truck. It says, "Get ready for a career." And then there's something right next to it, but it's been sprayed out with spray paint. Yeah, get ready for a career, but we're not going to tell you what it is. Maybe it's the CIA. I don't know. So, yeah, it's spooky. Every time I have to go sign out one of my kids from school, I just get this weird vibe from the place. It's like the school is just on permanent lockdown. Ugh. I mean, are you preparing them for a life in prison? I mean, what kind of environment is that for your kids? It's just weird to me. Anyway, all in the name of safety. I hear you, but I don't like the vibe I get in there. It was just like going in that damn prison. I guess I'm in a salty mood because the lady at the front desk was kind of rude. I don't know what her problem was. I didn't do anything to deserve it. I was just there to pick my kid up. She gave me the 3rd degree, and I'm like, I'm just here to pick my kid up. I got a call that he was not feeling well. You don't have to grill me. Hateful hussy. I think there was another point I was going to make, but I don't remember. So anyway, I'm glad I stayed at home as long as I did, because I was thinking, well, that would have really sucked if I was on my way to King and they called me to come get him. I'd say, well, it's going to be a little bit before I get there. I hope that's all right. I am not in the general vicinity of your facility. Wow. Yeah, he said his head was bothering him a little bit before he left, so that's when I gave him Advil, but I guess it wasn't good enough. I can't believe I'm going to King. This is weird. I think I actually need to get on 421. The GPS thingy said that was a little bit faster. It was 4 minutes faster to take 421, get off 40 and get on 421, so I'm going to do that. Because I've got an early exercise class today. It's a little earlier than normal, so I need to make sure I can get up here and get back and have time to finish up a couple of things for work that I probably will have to do today. So, yeah, I had fun at the produce place. I hope y'all enjoyed the videos from there. Scooping the beans. I had been wanting to do that, scooping the dried beans. But I tried to get a longer clip of me doing it. But there was constant noise in the background. People were talking and laughing, horns honking. You know, there was just some kind of racket. The most I could get was about a 30-second clip with no other racket. And the loud compressor on a nearby refrigerated case kept running. I had to wait for it to stop. It was a pain in the ass just to get that little clip. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to loop what I've got. I can't seem to get any more than that. It was noisy in there. Just constant racket. You know, the outside world in general is not really ASMR friendly. It's very noisy. We live in a noisy world. A lot of the noise I think is unnecessary. Like, I don't know. Some people are just unnecessarily noisy. Like, why you gotta be so loud all the time? I don't know. So King, North Carolina it's up, what is it? It's like north of Winston-Salem. King is near Tobaccoville. Is it Tobaccoville or Tobaccoville? Because a lot of towns in North Carolina that have ville at the end of it, V-I-L-L-E, get pronounced Vull, like Thomasville. You know, we like Greenville. We like to just take that V-I-L-L-E and we turn it into V-U-L-L or something. I don't know if it's Tobaccoville or Tobaccoville. I honestly don't know anything about it. Yeah, so King is this little community. I thought it was small, but they apparently have a Walmart Supercenter. So, kudos to y'all. That's cool. How about that? You got you a big Walmart. You didn't even get a neighborhood market. You got the whole shebang. You got the big one. How about that? King, one time I was headed to my dad's house. This was when he first moved up to Virginia. He had been up there for a little bit. Hang on. He moved up there in 1997. So yeah, it was actually about 2 years after that. I was headed up to his house, but for some reason I decided to go meandering. I don't know what made me do that. I just took a random exit on the way up there and just drove around on these little 2-lane roads just to see where I would end up. I don't know. I guess I had nothing else to do that day. This would have been in early, about this time in 1999. I guess it would have been about February of 99. I'm trying to think, because I was dating this guy, and he worked for himself, and he had gumball machines. You know, you go into laundromats or service stations or whatever, and you'll see just random gumball machines in there, or the gumball machines in the lobby, in the open part in Food Line. You know, all those little machines that have gumballs and just little trinkets in them. Well, he serviced. He took care of refilling and repairing those machines. That was, he kind of just worked for himself as a contract employee for these different companies that own these machines. Anyway, that's what he did. And we had gone on a few dates, and I guess you could say we were dating, but I didn't really see it going anywhere. Like, for me, there was no spark, or like, he was a nice enough person, but he was kind of boring, and he could be a bit overly dramatic sometimes. Like this one time, this is one of the things that really was a red flag to me, and I had already kind of decided that I was going to break it off with this guy. Like, I can't do this. This one time, he wanted me to come over one night. He wanted me to come over and hang out, and I said, I can't, I'm busy. But we had plans for me to come over the next day. We were going to go somewhere. And I get to his house the next day, and he's all depressed. He's got this hangdog look on his face. He's pouty because I didn't come over the night before to visit. It's just acting like a child, and I'm just like, this is not an attractive look for this person. You know, I was busy, and you're going to pout over that. And he had lined up empty beer bottles along the bar, like the counter space in the kitchen. And he kind of gestures, he goes, that's what I had to do last night because you wouldn't come over. Oh my God. So I said, oh, that's no problem. And I just went out and I got his little recycle bin tub thing out of the garage. And I came in and I just scooped him off into the recycle bin and I put it out and said, problem solved. You ready to go? Like, I'm not playing whatever the hell game this is you're trying to do. I'm not going to sit here and feel bad because I was busy and now you want to act like a pouty little bitch. Oh, damn. That FedEx truck in front of me just fishtailed into the concrete barrier over here. Just a little bit. Dude, watch where you're going. I'm going to let him go on up the road. I don't want to get too close. I'm telling you about this guy because it factors into my story about King. Now, this guy lived outside of Greensboro. He didn't live right in town. And, yeah, so his pouty little, you know, drama queen attitude was a huge turnoff. And it was around that time that I decided I cannot continue to see this person. I can't do it. No. There's no spark there. I have no interest in continuing this, whatever. I'm going to have to break it off with this guy. I can't stand it. Well, it was around that time that I took my meandering trip up to my dad's house. And I ended up on this little 2-lane road, and a sign came along that said, welcome to King. And I remember looking at it going, King? I had never heard of King, North Carolina at this point. I didn't know it was like an actual place. King? I'm in King? What does that mean, King? Is that a town? Is it a community? What is it? How weird. And so I'm going down this 2-lane road, and I come around this curve, and I'm just da-da-da-da-da, you know, I got the radio playing, and I come around this curve, and sitting right in somebody's yard, right as I come around the curve, is the most beautiful split window Volkswagen bus I have ever seen in my life. It just appeared like a vision from heaven. I damn near ran off the road. And I slammed on brakes in the middle of the road. There wasn't anybody behind me. I said, holy shit, look at that bus. It was beautiful. It was burgundy and like a beige color. Oh my Lord, it was a split window Volkswagen bus. Oh my God. I just about died. Because you know how I am about Volkswagen buses. I have loved them since I was a little kid. I don't know. Something about them just appeals to me. I don't know. I love them. Now, I'm going to tell you about another one too. Now, this was back, and let me tell you what happened. So, this was in King. And I told the guy, I got to give him a name. He was a gloomy Gus. We'll call him Gus. That wasn't his name. So I said, Gus, when I got back home later, he had called me and I said, you won't believe what I saw in King. I saw the coolest Volkswagen bus in King. And he said, where? I said, I don't know. I was just on this little 2-lane road in the middle of nowhere, and this bus just appeared around the corner, and I about died. Oh, wow. So Gus, without saying anything to me, went and just meandered around the King area on his own, found the bus, talked to the guy that owned it. The guy that owned it was willing to sell it for $700. $700. $700 for this bus. He bought it. Yeah, he just bought it. Gus bought the bus. So Gus had the bus. And he offered to give it to me. I said no. Because see, at this point I had already kind of decided. I already had one foot out of the door with this relationship anyway. Like, nah. I said, no, I'm not. No, you're not giving me that. Because I didn't want to feel indebted to this guy. But I also didn't have $700 to give him for the bus. I didn't have any money. Shit, I was broke. I'm paying off student loan debt and not making much money, and like I can't afford that. I don't have an extra $700 sitting around. He said, well, you don't have to give it to me now. I can just go ahead and sign the title over to you, and you can just give it to me when you can. And I thought, no, I'm not comfortable with that either, because I had already decided I want to just break it clean with this guy. I don't need, the bus is cool, don't get me wrong, it is very cool, but I just don't, my instinct says don't do that. I don't need to be tethered to this guy until I can pay him for that bus. Because I already knew that when I broke up with him, it was not going to go well. I was going to see like the ultimate pout fest from this guy. So I said, no, I appreciate it, but he said, well, what am I supposed to do with it? I said, honestly, I don't know, but I cannot afford it, and I am not comfortable with you just giving it to me. I can't do that. I cannot let you do that. I will not accept it, because it's just, I don't feel right. Well, what am I supposed to do with it? So I saw, that was probably, that encounter, me going around that corner in King and encountering that bus, was one of the most glorious encounters, just surprise bus encounters I've ever had in my life. I have just never just been driving along, beep, 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 beep. What? Yeah, it was wow. Oh my God. I think he ended up selling it or something. I don't know what he did with it. It ran. I mean, there was really nothing wrong with it. It was in good shape inside and out. I think it needed new tires, but that was about it. It ran. It was just, yeah, it was great. What was I? Okay, so I got to encounter a beautiful bus in King out in the middle of nowhere on this little 2-lane road. And he got that bus for $700. Do you have any idea? A bus like that today, if he still had that bus and it was in the shape it was in then, you could sell that bus, even if you did it at auction, one of the classic car auctions, you could, with no problem, get $30,000 for that bus. No problem. Absolutely no problem. You would get at least that, probably more. Man, yeah, I don't know what he did with it, but one other time, and here was the, you want to hear one of the dumbest decisions I've ever made? One of the dumbest things I ever did. Okay, now this was in Fancy Gap. Is that Virginia? Fancy Gap? Y'all have a lot of gaps in the Virginia area. What is up with that? You've got Fancy Gap, Flower Gap. They use the word gap in a lot of their little communities. Like, what's up with all the gaps? I don't know. But it was in Fancy Gap. There was this old, looked like an abandoned service station. And parked right in front of this service station was a 21-window Volkswagen bus with the chrome trim and everything. Now, it needed a lot of work. I mean, you could tell it needed some work. I don't think it had an engine in it or anything. But today, if you had that bus now, even in the shape it was in, you would get more than $30,000, because it was a 21-window bus, and those are rare. The bus that I found in King was not one of those. It was a split window, but it was more like a camper kind of thing. But yeah, I found out who owned the service station, and I talked to the guy, and he was willing to sell it for $2,700. And I scoffed at that. I scoffed at it. I said, that's ridiculous. That's an insult. Shit. I had no idea then how much they would go up in value over the following years. Yeah, if I had that bus now, even in the shape it was in, even with no engine or anything, you could get at least $30,000 for it. Probably more. Because it's a 21 window with the chrome trim and everything. Yeah, oh my God. Man, those are rare. So, I didn't buy it. Somebody else did. I went back by not too long after that and it was gone. Somebody else had bought it. Somebody got a deal. Yeah, it could have been mine, but I scoffed at the $2,700. I didn't have it anyway, but And see, and what I was thinking was too, I don't really have $2,700, and then I'm going to have to pay, to get it fixed up. It has no engine in it. I'm going to have to deal with that. It would take a lot more money to get it drivable. So I don't have the money to do it. So, but now oh my Lord, those buses like that, man, they go for way more than you would expect. They are outrageously expensive. But would I buy one? Would I buy one now? Honestly, no, probably not. I mean, I know that's kind of surprising. People are like, oh my God, you wouldn't buy one now? Nah, I probably wouldn't. I mean, if I had that kind of money just sitting around, I would rather just use it to pay, make a big payment on my house or something. I would rather be that much further ahead on paying off my house than to have a bus. If I don't know. I guess as I've gotten older, I've become a little bit more practical. One good thing my parents did for me was they always taught me to manage money. I learned from the time I was little to save money and, be mindful of your spending, make sure you take care of your obligations, you pay your bills, and don't go out and blow your paycheck. You have responsibilities you need to attend to. And I've learned that, I was taught that from the time I was small, and it really stuck with me, and I am so glad that my parents took the time to do that, because it helped me through a lot of really lean years, especially when I was younger, and it helped me. That's not to say I never made any stupid financial decisions, because yeah, I have. But I try to learn from my mistakes, and try to do better. I like to make all new mistakes every time. I don't want to keep repeating my mistakes. So yeah, I try to always be careful with my money to, keep my bills paid and everything. And it pays off to do that. It really does. So, when I broke up with Gus, I made a dumb decision there too. So it was around the time that I saw the bus and all that happen, that my brother called me, and Gus was at my apartment when he called. My brother called to tell me that he was getting married. And I was so excited because I loved his girlfriend so much. She was so great. And I was so excited to hear that they were getting married. And so Gus was at my house when I got the phone call. And I was so excited, and I knew we were going to have to fly to Chicago for the wedding. And I was so excited, I said, oh, you should come too. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought, why did you say that? Oh, man. And of course, he gets all excited, like, oh, yeah, I would love to come. Like, damn it. Why did I invite him to the wedding? Crap. And I regretted it instantly. It just, in the excitement, I just blurted it out. You should come too. Ugh. Oh, I would love to. Like, shit. Can I take that back? I can't take it back. It's too late. Because now we're both excited. Shit. So, and I still feel bad about this today. So, he bought a non-refundable round trip ticket to go with us to the wedding. And it was going to be my mom and me and him. And we got our tickets. And they were, I think it was like $200 and some dollars. It might have been more than that. I don't remember now. It was a long time ago. But it was non-refundable. I do remember that. And I felt really bad. But the wedding was still, now this would have been in February or so of 99. The wedding wasn't until April. And I thought, there's no way in hell I'm going to be dating this guy in April. I was about ready to boot him anyway out of my life. And now we're looking at a thing 2 months out that I was stupid enough to just spontaneously invite him to. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I can't. Because he kept being pouty about stuff. It's like he alternated between being boring. He was like Mr. Magoo. He alternated between being boring and being a pouty bitch. And I'm just like, there is nothing appealing about this vacillation here. Neither one of these extremes is appealing to me. He was very needy, very clingy. he wanted us to go do stuff together every day. I'm like, dude, I can't. Let's see. No, I was out of school at that point. I was working full time, and I don't feel like doing stuff every day. No offense, but I like to have time to myself. And this guy was smothering me. So finally, we were gonna go have lunch at a steakhouse in Asheboro. Now, why we were going all the way to Asheboro for lunch, I don't know. I don't know whose idea that was. Like, why are we going all the way to Asheboro for that? There are steakhouses everywhere here. So I had decided that day, I was going to tell him that day, like, I'm going to break up with this guy. So this was in, like, late February. And what I had decided to do, what I was going to do was, I was going to pay him, I was going to give him the money for that ticket. Because I thought, well, after I tell him I want to break up, he's probably not going to want to go to the wedding anymore, because that would just be weird. He's not, but what I thought I would do was, I thought I will refund, I will give him the money that he spent on that ticket. It's non-refundable, but I'm going to give him the money for it, so he won't be out anything. The bus, I think he still had at that point, but I think he sold it eventually. I doubt he lost money on it, because he got a hell of a deal on that bus. He probably made money on that bus. But the mistake I made was, and I didn't really think about this, driving to this steakhouse from Greensboro was like a 30-minute drive. What I didn't really plan on was, we get down there, and I tell him during lunch, yeah, we need to talk. And I told him, I think you're a really nice person, and it's not you, it's me. But it totally was him, but I was trying to make it easier. It didn't really help though. It's not you, it's me. But I don't really see this relationship going anywhere. And I feel that I need to end it. I don't remember how I put it. It came out all awkward and clunky. We had just started eating when I just blurted that out, because I couldn't stand it anymore. Because he was sitting there and he was already making plans. Okay, well, Saturday we can go do this, and then Sunday we'll go do this, and then Monday when you get off work we can go here, and then Tuesday. And I just had to stop him, like, hang on a minute. No, none of that is going to happen. And he was so pitiful. He basically had his lip pooched out. And then we had to eat. And then we had to take the 30-minute drive back so he could drop me off at my apartment. And the whole way, it was so awkward. It was like, I don't understand. How can you feel this way? What did I do wrong? I've done everything I could to make you happy, and he was whiny, and I don't mean to sound, cold and mean or anything, but like, dude, stop. But then he started to get defensive. About halfway back to Greensboro, he started to get defensive, like he was processing everything. He was moving through stages of grief or something, because he reached the anger stage, and he was like, hey, you asked me out. He had it. This is back when, and I don't know if people still do it, this was back, before the internet was a big thing, and he had put an ad in the paper, and it sounded interesting, so I responded to his ad. He was like, you asked me out. Okay, the way I see it, I should be the one breaking up with you. I said, well, that's fine. If you want to, you can break up with me. No, I don't want to. But you asked me out. Like, yeah, and now I'm ending it, because I'm being honest with you and telling you that I don't see this going anywhere. But, and he just pissed and moaned and pissed and moaned and I don't understand. I know. But he kept on, and I know I sound harsh. I know I sound cold. I know. But I have found that with clingy, whiny people, you have to be very blunt. You cannot leave any room for interpretation. You have to be very direct. And you have to be kind of firm. Otherwise, they will try to find wiggle room in there to get a foothold in. And Literally none. Absolutely not. So I know I sound like I'm being a bitch, but in my experience, when dealing with people like that, you have to be very firm. You have to tell them you mean it, or they will look for wiggle room. There was no wiggle room. Gus had to go. So, but I did tell him, I said, I have a check. I had already written out a check. I said, I have a check right here for the full amount that you paid for that ticket to my brother's wedding. And I am very sorry about that. But I want to reimburse you for that ticket because I know it was non-refundable and I don't want you to lose that money. I don't want it. And he just tore it up. No. I said, I want to pay you for that. No, you won't. So it was hard. I felt bad, but I felt like I was doing the right thing. Like I knew if I stayed with this guy long enough to go to that wedding, and if he went to the wedding with me, he would be convinced, like, I got this girl locked down. Just, we're going to be together forever. He was already talking about us getting married, and I'm like, oh, this has got to stop. I've got to stop this now. I've got to. I'm not marrying this person. Hell no. So he wouldn't let me reimburse him for the ticket. I tried. Like, please let me. I feel really bad that you bought a non-refundable ticket to go to that wedding. No, just forget it. Afterwards, he even went up to see my dad. He went and talked to my dad like twice, 2 or 3 times. He went up there to talk to my dad. Like, is there anything I can do? And my dad's just like, dude, I don't know. She's a weird one. He said, I had to tell him you were weird because he kept coming to my house. I said, look, she's weird, okay? She's weird. I don't understand why she does the things she does. She's kind of weird. I got no explanation. I'm sorry, but she's just weird. And I think you're just going to have to accept it. Because he said, I didn't want him to keep coming up here. He just shows up. I said, yeah, sorry about that. Because I had taken him up there, I think once, to see my dad while we were dating. We went up there one day. And yeah, so he kept showing up. He showed up at least twice, just unannounced, to try to pick my dad's brain. Like, what can I do to get her back? I don't know what I need to do. And my dad's like, I don't think there's anything you can do. I think because she is just so strange that she, once she makes up her mind, that's it. And it sounds like she's made up her mind, and I don't think there's anything you can do to unscramble that egg. I think it's over. So maybe go home and move on with your life. Yeah, my dad told me. He was back up here again today. He still wants to know how to get you back. What'd you tell him? I told him you were weird. I don't know what else to tell him. He won't stop. Well, eventually he did, so I guess he moved on with his life. I don't know. I just, too many red flags, and I wasn't really interested in the guy anyway. Like, there was just, I don't know. It was funny too, because we had quite a bit in common. We had we liked a lot of the same stuff and everything, but I don't know. Like, there was just nothing there. Just nothing. We got a hell of a deal on that bus in King, now I tell you what. All right, I'm at the King Tobaccoville exit, so I got to get off of here because I don't know where to go from here, and I need the GPS lady to tell me. So I hope you have a great day. That was perfect timing right there. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.